This is the UV3. I'm going to show you today how to get this scope mounted on a Spot Hogg Fast Eddie XL or the triple stack, which I haven't seen anyone make a video. I'm gonna show you how to do both ways if you wanna run this. .30mm scope, double pin, 0.010, so good for long range. Extra battery, ooh, options. We'll get to that. Let's talk about these sights for a second. This is the Dovetail Fast Eddie XL. Okay, I took this barrel out, cracked this bolt, and this will slide all the way out. And then you'll have just your housing and this barrel, all right? Now this barrel, they use Loctite at the factory, so it's an MFer to get out. But eventually I got it all the way out, and this is just a sleeve, and this is like all thread that just goes all the way into here. And then now you have your, this is out, and you can basically swap this out. It does have this washer as well in there. So this washer was like this. Imagine this sleeve, because this thread's inside the sleeve. So it just keeps going till they're one piece, and then it threads in to your barrel. You're gonna have to crack this. I would use some heat to get that Loctite to loosen up, and then just unscrew this out. Then all you have to do is, once this is off, you can basically screw it in to the scope, and that's it. So anything Fast Eddie XL, this is direct mount. This is the Dovetail that I've torn apart. Both of those are going to be super easy. Just remember there's Loctite on there. Now, we're going to show you a little bit trickier. I got a triple stack with the Dovetail from Spot Hogg, and I like the triple stack, but it's just too freaking big of a housing for my taste. I'm going to gain some extra yardage for Total Archery Challenge with the scope. So we had to go to the hardware store to get a little bit of hardware, but there's a hack to do this, and we're gonna do this now. Let me hand the mic over to my main man, Jacob the Webb.
Ultraview scope, what you have to do is you need a way to put this bolt through the scope and actually mount it to this bracket. In order to do that, you got this sleeve in the way. So all of these set screws, we're gonna take out. We're gonna slide these two pieces out, slide the bolt from the inside, and then we have a nylock nut, and that's gonna tighten up on our bracket, and that's gonna get swapped out basically with that scope, and it's gonna get bolted in place just like that. This is a 1/4 thread, so it's got an Allen on this side. It's 3/4 of an inch long.
That's not much.
You see that? Yeah, it's just a set screw. So it's just tension through the aluminum scope onto the plastic, basically. I'd be worried hunting all the vibration. That thing would just go right out.
Can that give you enough access, or do you have to take off both?
I think that might work. Let's see. That'll work. So you just actually need to take one side off. And you guys notice this hole on this side, so you can put your Allen all the way through and tighten that guy up.
Nice job, Ultraview. You were thinking.
That's gonna go just like that.
Yep.
Okay. So that screw goes nice and flush there. You have that nylock on this side that's not going to loosen up on you, and we're going to slide this back in. That way Dan has a pin to see.
I could see myself hunting antelope out of a blind or spot and stock, but
yep,
you start hunting elk in the brush.
Yeah.
Nothing. I don't trust nothing but maybe Spot Hogg or Black Gold.
My bow was bulletproof last year, and I had enough problems with that. There you go.
Oh, that's gangster.
Coming out, this whole housing, scope, bracket, everything's coming off, and it's getting replaced. So one thing that we did notice when we're swapping these out, what we wanted to double check was his right and left. So putting these on here, if you guys can see from the top down, his pins should be really, really close to being on his right and left. So we didn't want to bolt it on and it be like this. We didn't want to bolt it on and it's going to be like way over here. So we didn't want to jack up his windage adjustment. So that is going to swap out like that. I want both.
So I gotta go. Do you think my sight tape will match up? Comment below. Do you think my sight tape's gonna match up? I also need to figure out how you can adjust that second pin, right?
I don't think you can.
No, it's on the same post, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it is what it is. You just have to.
Your top pin, I think, is gonna be pretty close.
Yay!
Your second, so I think your second pin is gonna be close to where your third pin would be, and then there isn't a middle pin.
That's good.
Like if you, so if you guys look this angle this way, if you look at top pin, but look at the difference from here to there.
That's gonna give me more real estate.
That's significant for sure. Okay, guys. So the reason that we did this whole switch was going from this triple stack housing to this Ultraview housing. One, it's going to get extended range. So fletchings are hitting this. I mean, look at the bottom. You can see that's where that stuff's from. Fletchings are hitting that. That's bad. So going to this smaller housing, you're going to get longer range. You're not changing the draw weight of the bow. You're not doing anything like that. You're just letting your fletchings clear your scope housing. Second thing, this pin size is smaller. What that means is it's going to be a smaller object at farther distance, which should be more accurate. If your pin is huge over that 3D target, you don't know where you're hitting. If you have a very small spot that you're aiming at, you're going to be more accurate. This has a built-in light. This does not. You have to add that accessory. You have to add that accessory to this. You have 3 different colors on your bubble that you want to put in here. That I think is a cool thing. Dimension, when you're looking here at this scope, this is longer, so this is going to give you a hallway. So when you're looking through, you're not going to have the sun coming in and blowing up your eyes. This is going to be longer, so it's just like a hood on your scope on a rifle. If you guys want this kit, you want this scope, go to Podium Archery, get a hold of MFJJ. He sells these Ultraview scopes. You need a bracket, you need some hardware. He's going to carry that stuff in stock. You guys can get a hold of him and get all this stuff directly from him. You don't need a pro shop to switch this out. You guys can do this yourself. Literally, we did it all with some Allen wrenches and a crescent wrench. Switching this out, whether you have a double pin, triple pin, whatever your original sight is, the dimension there on those pins is going to be different from this Ultraview. I mean, more than likely, it's going to be different. When you come over here, your indicators, we're going to pull this third one out because we only have 2 pins. And what we're going to do is we're going to fine tune these. We're going to slide those, tighten those up, and they're going to be exactly spot on with where his pins are.
Cool. Looks like there's several, well, probably at least 3 or 4 configurations you can do. So just eyeball it and play Tetris until you've gotten that sight to line up with your center shot. Eyeball it. I like. This is straight up tinkering at its finest. Down a little bit. UV3, cone attack. Gotta take down Dan. That's only at 20 yards though, so don't get excited. 37. Ooh, it's close. It's a little hot. 38.5, 39. It's so close. I bet it's like 39. I think that's literally like ½ inch shy of being bullseye. I don't know if you guys can tell with the long lens, it's very bright out. So at 70 yards, I shot this group And so I ended up backing up to 73 yards and shooting with my 70-yard slider. So it's about I'm off about 3 yards, we're thinking, and we're just trying to confirm that right now, but I'm starting to suck at archery. So I'm gonna give it a break and kind of back out a couple different distances and see if this, in fact, the sight tape should match up. I mean, the arrow velocity didn't change. And then I'm gonna compete with this setup in 2 days. So I kind of want to leave confident. So right now I'm not like 100% convinced the sight tape's dialed, and I don't want any excuses because it's a team competition on Sunday. Why didn't I do this a long time ago? The Ultraview, pretty cool, pretty slick. I like the scope. I like the tunnel. I think it's like it's really good for bright sunny days. I don't think I'd be able to, I don't know, I'm mitigating glare. I like the sight picture a ton. I like the distance between the first and second pin. Right now I got a 20-40 spread. That's gonna be perfect for elk hunting. And I may or may not hunt with this year. I do have a dual track that I can take this dovetail out and put my dual track from Black Gold in and bump up to RIP TKOs. These are, what are these, Jake? These are the extreme velocities. Yeah. So these are total weight of 410 to 411. And so I could take this out, put my dual track in, and hunt with my RIP TKOs, and I think they're 443. So go up a little bit weight. So we'll see. If I run this setup, I'll just end up slapping a Grim Reaper or an Iron Will 125 on the front and kill an elk with 410. That will be the lightest arrow I've ever killed an elk with. But I also took the third indicator off. Like the triple stack comes with 3 indicator. I took that one out. It's in my pocket. I'll put it in my little bow case kit. The triple stack, I was able to shoot out to 112 yards with the same setup, using the bottom pin, which is not a very sweet sight picture. I just shot 115 yards using my top pin and my bottom pin showing that I could probably hit 126, 127 yards. So that's pretty cool. People ask us all the time, like, how do we get longer sight tapes on our bows or whatever, and grow longer arms so you can store more energy draw length, put heavier poundage limbs or mods on your bow. This is at 78. Shoot a lighter arrow, move your peep up, smaller housing. Those are just a few tips. The kind of release aid you use, you know, like the Wise Choice versus the Too Simple, both made by Carter. I love both those releases, but the Too Simple actually gives me like a 1/4 inch more draw length. So sometimes it's just, you can do all those things, including the release, and you can add distance for tack or whatever. But my goal in 2022 is to shoot elks as close as possible. Appreciate y'all. Tap the sub, like, share with a friend. Separation's in the preparation. Stay on your grind. Catch you on the next one.